Good evening and welcome to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. And it is the crosstown rivalry. Yes, it is for the firemen's El Trumpetto that we couldn't remember last week.
Yeah, we sat there and played around with it it just sounded good. It sounded like the right thing to say. So we're glad we figured it out, and we're glad that Central has won it for the last 8 seasons, I believe, at the end of the season. Has taken that back to inside here at Bay City Central, the hallowed halls. And, Bay City Western coming off that loss last week is certainly doesn't need a lot of motivation for this game to get up for it.
Well, and all week long, I would come to work at 6:30 in the morning and the stadium lights would be on in anticipation of potential for somebody to slide from Auburn, and it's the same the other way around. But you know what? As long as it's good, clean fun, I don't have a problem with it.
It's a good rivalry. There's a little bit of shenanigans that go on. But, if you don't do it, you're kind of missing out on that high school experience. Keeping it clean, keeping it real, not doing anything destructive or malicious. They're not crossing that line. But, it's been going on for, let's see, since Handy closed in 1990, this rivalry has kicked its heels up at the end of the season, and it's played out really well. There's been some really, really good football games here, regardless of the records.
Last week, we were out at Western. That game, Coach Willertz kind of anticipated that bad weather would be in his favor. That really didn't work out with 5 turnovers and a muffed punt, but I think the motivation after that loss this week means they are going to be coming into this backyard brawl with Bay City Central. And hang on.
We got two things that you're looking at here. Western has a couple of things that they need to get themselves righted as they ready for the playoff opportunity that's ahead of them next week. So taking care of business, but regaining momentum that they had going into the Mount Pleasant game where they thought they had a real shot. And, the thing is, we talked about it before the game. If turnovers were going to be a factor, it was going to hurt them, and it ended up hurting them because Mount Pleasant capitalized 25 points off of those turnovers, and that was a game, 31-16. So if they can minimize that here tonight, they're looking at the same thing. On the other side, Central's playing, end of the season rivalry game. Don't have playoff aspirations this year. Young team. A lot to build on, and the last couple of weeks they played Midland Dow tough last week in the driving rain. The week before they got their first win against Ainsworth, so they are playing some of their better ball right now, and so they're going to try to make sure that they spoil their crosstown rivals' aspirations.
First time in the recent history since record books showed 2,000-yard rushers for the same team, and they are certainly key to the success of the Western Warriors. They ran it for over 1,000 yards each, but it's Randall on the counter. We saw that last week on the wet field, what he can be able to do maybe tonight on a drier field. That's 3 options, but you're starting with Wiedike and O'Hara, and they both can do so much, and Wiedike just wants to run you over, and as you can see through his numbers, he's averaging 9.4 yards a carry, or 9.0 yards a carry. He's got 15 touchdowns on the season. O'Hara on the other side, 9.4 yards a carry. They're getting themselves first downs every time they touch the ball. And they are making it happen. Randall, he doesn't have a lot of touches this year, but he's got 390 yards, averaging 12.2 yards per touch. And Randall receiving is averaging 35.9, down from the 40.8 that we had a few weeks ago. So he's a viable option when those DBs start peeking into the backfield.
When you've got a running game as vaunted as Western has, Coach Willetts has that option, and O'Hara doesn't need to throw it as often. But when he does, for whatever reason, Randall's able to get himself with his speed behind the defense, and it's always creating a big play opportunity.
Now, for Bay City Central, on the other hand, offensively, they're rushing for 1,136, passing for 963. They got great balance, 2,099 total yards. And A.J. Kazanowski will be the heir apparent. Now, last year, Sporman got injured, and Kaz had to step up and make things happen. That is the case, but at least now you've got somebody with a year of seasoning.
Kaz is going to do a good job. He did a nice job last year filling in as a sophomore. And a lot of these kids that Coach Frederick had last year, they were sophomores last year. So they're juniors now, getting a little bit more seasoned. So it's not as bright-eyed, bushy-tailed first time coming into a game like this, situation like this. So they played. They know what they're doing. They know what to expect, and they've been around these guys on this team now for a better part of 2 years. So, plus all the summer workouts. So they have a pretty good idea what to expect from each other and what they can bring to the table.
Well, and you've got two coaches that both started back in Bay City at the same time 4 years ago, both looking to make their mark. Loved the conversation. They spent about 20, 30 minutes pregame just having fun out there, and probably the last loose, relaxed moments before the stress of this evening gets rocking.
Yeah, it's great when you have two guys, known Kevin Frederick for a long time, was a Little League teammate of mine, stayed in touch through high school, through college, and so on and so forth. So, my heart's out for him, for his team's success, want him to do well. And then when you spend any time with Chris Willards, you don't even know the guy. You walk into the room, and 10 minutes later, you feel like you've known him for years. And then you want to run through a wall for him in case the door's not open. So he has that infectious personality, and it has carried over to his team. Coach Frederick's a competitor. It's carrying over to his team, and they're going to be able to leave everything that they have with their players to go out there and execute their game plans tonight.
They're going to leave it all on the table tonight. Week 9, Central Western. It says it all. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. The best is yet to come as we conclude our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show. Back with all the game action in just a minute on BCTV.
At Covenant Healthcare, we lead with the most advanced technology. We lead with the most experienced, comprehensive medical and surgical teams. We lead with partnerships to teach our future doctors, and with organizations who help us bring world-renowned care close to home. We lead because our patients are at the center of everything we do. Covenant Healthcare, extraordinary care for every generation.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you rise and please remove your hats as we honor America with our national anthem. Here we go. Western wins the toss, and they've elected to receive. And they are going to take that opening kickoff and just drop it. Marathon will get it at the 42-yard line. And Central tried to just put that ball kind of in a tweener spot, but they were not looking forward to having any huge returns. But the Western Warriors get their hands on the football first from their own 42. It'll be 1st and 10, Western, and this will be an interesting chess match here in the first series.
I think so. The thing is, I saw Western play once this year, and it was last week in the rain. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do on a little bit drier field conditions with their vaunted running game.
Well, there's Wiedike going up the middle, and he is a horse. He's going to pick up about 7 yards on the play out to about the 49-yard line, burrowing down defensively for the Bay City Central Wolves. Mariano Escamilla amongst others, but boy, giving up 7 on first down, that is not the recipe for success for the Central D.
Just a real simple handoff right there, right up the middle. Great blocking up front by the guys in white.
And there again is another Wiedike run, and he picks up the first down and more before he's brought down defensively by Ben Facundo. And again, when we talk about this Central team, we touched on it in the pregame show, Jason, very young.
Yeah, they've been together, though, and that's the thing. A lot of them got experience last year. This was supposed to be a good – and let's look at their schedule. They didn't play a lot of bad games. They weren't out of a lot of games. Coach Frederick will tell you, it's a play or two here, and then all of a sudden it's that mentality that they got to continue to work on.
Here goes Logan O'Hare. He runs to daylight. He comes off the corner. 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
That was a beautifully designed run right there. He found the open spot, and he explodes. It's one of the things I like about his game is even on the wet field last week is he has an uncanny ability to find a spot, and then all of a sudden, he's out.
179 yards last week in the worst conditions that he will play on by far in his high school career. But they brought Wiedike in motion that little bit. He came back as the lead blocker, and once he sealed the linebacker, it was running to glory right now. Nobody else from Central could get that angle. So 1 minute and 3 seconds into our first quarter of play, Western draws first blood.
Going for their two-point conversion, which is not something that they always do. It's not something uncommon. They like to go to the two-point conversion.
And they're a high percentage two-point conversion team. Wiedike taking it over the left side. He gets into the end zone. The two-point conversion is good. Time out of the field with 10:57 left in our first quarter. Western strikes first, up 8-0 over Central. Back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on BCTV as we look down the get-back coach. He's been here many years, Jeff Anderson, one of the real fun ones. I was here a couple of weeks ago after Central beat Carmen Ainsworth after the Glenn Garber game was done. He leads a little breakdown afterwards that is truly special, and the kids really eat it up. So that was a lot of fun to watch. But Jeff is known as the get-back coach. He keeps those coaches on the sidelines in order as Western's set to kick off. That will be... Looks like a kick that will be bounced once and finally picked up by Bay City Central. Trying to run to daylight with not a ton of room, Easton Anderson. And he gets back to about the 19-yard line. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves. We're going to find out what that new offense is all about. And A.J. Kazanowski, had to come in week 1 last year. He had a full year of seasoning under his belt. And then Mr. Sporman, Kyle Sporman, was having a great year and then suffered an injury in week 7 that put him out for the year, and it's a neck injury. And unfortunately, that is going to eliminate his opportunity to further his football career doing anything. So Kazanowski comes to the near side, makes a broken play, a great one as he turns the corner. As that ball was just a little bit high, he may have been peeking a little bit to where he wanted to go with the ball, but he ends up making a quick 8 out of the deal, and they'll take that every time.
Tell you what, broken plays typically don't run for 8 yards in the positive direction, so not a great start, but a great start for the Central Wolves on offense.
Well, and they're back in their own end, though, so they've got to have a couple of first downs to flip field position so that they can get up near midfield and continue that attack. And I really feel like Central's offense is going to have a nice opportunity to run the football. And you're also going to see Jamario Harris a little bit back in the Wildcat. So A.J. Kazanowski there got motion coming to the near side of the field. And they're going to give that ball off to Harris. And the defense absolutely had that play shut down. Right here on the corner, Chope just
Connor
shut
Chope,
it down.
Man. Wow, he held his position, didn't get fooled by any of the motion, shed his block, number 1, and then was able to make the play.
Well, the first time we watched Western this year against Midland High, Chope was unbelievable on defense. He seemed like there were 3 number 11s out on the field, but again, doing his job, contain and then attack, not allowing Harris to get a seam. And he has got coast-to-coast speed, too, if he gets in the open. Kazanowski rolling to the near side of the field, trying to turn the corner. He's going to throw that thing downfield. Going to have a penalty flag on the play, so a little bit of contact. And that flag at the 42-yard line.
I think it's going to be a little illegal chuck instead of a pass interference. What do you think, Coach?
I was thinking the same thing, but, I was also looking at A.J. running that. I thought he could have at least ran for it. It was a little bit of a dangerous pass throwing it there. Pretty well contested even after the little hold.
Yeah, it was a double move. So I think that you make that grab knowing that it's going to cost you 15 versus 6 points.
True. And, again, looking at trying to make a play, and I know right now in a rivalry game, again, we talk about the last couple of weeks with the types of games that we've covered, there's a lot of adrenaline, and these first couple of possessions are going to be key for both these teams just to kind of let it kind of work its way out.
Well, and you look at the number of defensive passing yards, 981 given up by this Western defense. So, again, Central now gets down into their stance, and they can move around as long as they don't have their hands down yet. So having that thing on the outside, the pass is complete. Down the field and more. Going number 7, McCullough. 15-10. 5-4-3-2-1. He's into the end zone. It's a Central Wolf touchdown.
That's how you answer. That right there, you get to L.J. McCullough on the outside and let him go.
And the thing is that's beautiful about that is there was a little defensive grab there, too. McCullough kept his concentration, grabbed the ball, made a great spin move to the outside, and just outran the defense.
Absolutely. That was a great play, great throw, great catch. Got to have all three things go well together.
All right, Xavier Wilson, Mr. Two-Sport, is soccer and with football. The extra point is up, and it has got just enough, and it's good. Time out of the field with 8:57. Central with an answer. It's 8-7. Oh, we're in for a good one here. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
So your car is getting towed, and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam, or give us a call at 989-684-9607.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. We are looking over, it must be hunting season as a very strong student tradition at Western. They have got the old hunter's orange on, and they are out in mass tonight.
They're hunting some wolves tonight. I tell you what, 3 minutes gone by in this game. We've got 15 total points on the board. This is going to be a great one, and they are definitely hunting the right sport.
Great job by Wilson as he kicks that ball deep. Trying to come upfield, Central trying to break down, doing a great job. And we're out to about the 25-yard line, and we've got just a little of the extracurricular going on, but nothing that we can't handle. Donis Archer had his hands on the ball last, so that's one thing that I really think both teams are going to concentrate on tonight because it's cold. First person stands up that ball carrier, and you better have it tucked away because the second person's going for leather.
Right, and tonight's really the first true cold night that we have had all season long, and we couldn't have asked for better conditions. It's a clear night, no rain in the forecast. We don't have to worry about this field getting muddied up. We're going to be able to watch two great offenses utilize their speed.
We have got a great angle right now for you to see how short and small the splits are. As Wiedike does one of those great jump moves that looked like Haskins last week from Michigan. He sees that low tackle coming. They try and chop him around the ankles, and the big fella says, I'm going airborne. He's going to move the sticks again, 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. But you look at that Western splits, Jason, and they are tiny.
Oh, they are. I tell you, one of the things I really like about Wiedike, it reminds me of Tommy Tyson from Whittemore Prescott. If any of our older fans that are watching remember.
Touchdown, Tommy. Nope. That is not something. And I give. You see who the get-back coach was that time? It was Coach Frederick on the sidelines. He's like, fellas, we can't do that. We can't get in there. Let the officials do their job. We'll do ours. But you're right. Wiedike is just pounding it right now. And the more success he has on the inside is only going to set up Randall on the counter and also setting up the O'Hare runs to the outside.
You just nailed it. I was just about to call for a Randall run, so we'll see. What do we know?
O'Hare gets to the outside, and he gets the corner again. He's at the 40, the 35, down to the 31-yard line before he's brought down by the Bay City Central Wolves. Back there for Central. Looked like Sean Cox with that great tackle.
Well, he's kind of left out there, you know. I mean, again, we're talking about containment. And when he's able to get to the outside, when I'm talking about O'Hare, when he's able to get to the outside, you're putting yourself into a bad position. Then you're worried about angles and trying to make sure you're taking the right angle. So O'Hare did a nice job of bouncing it outside. I'm still waiting for the Randall run.
Well,
you heard it here first.
O'Hare has such great vision to know where to pop it out. Wiedike, look at the patience. He's just behind those big dogs, and it looks like there's nothing there. And the next thing you know, they got 6 out of that play as the Bay City Central defense finally gets to him up out of the bottom of that stack. And I'm waiting for him to turn around. Sporman.
It's a name we're going to say a lot tonight on the defensive side. Ben is a great player. You know, brother of Kyle, the quarterback that we talked about in the pregame that's suffered the injury in Week 7. You know, tough player, great kid, great family. Looking forward to a great game.
Well, and he was a great target for his brother, too, because I would imagine they practiced for years throwing hundreds of balls a day in the backyard and in the neighborhood.
You would hope so.
2nd down and 5. Look at Wiedike again behind 2 pullers. Just patiently sits there, moves the pile, picks up about 8 yards on the play. Moved the sticks again with 6:31 left in the first quarter, 8-7. Western on top, and boy, they're sniffing the red zone again.
You know, the one thing that so far, again, it's early, but no turnovers. You know, when you're able to hold on to the ball and keep that possession, the one thing that Western really benefits from is the fact that they are so talented and they pop such at a high rate. You know, 9 yards a carry, 9.6 yards a carry. Randall gets 13 yards a carry. So they have that. So they got to keep the ball. For them, the formula is simple.
It is indeed, as they've got that double wing set up to the far side. You know always when you see that Wiedike motion, unless they're setting something up differently, he goes in motion and becomes the lead blocker as O'Hare then bangs forward and picks up 4 or 5 yards on the play. Central defense is again getting to the football as Easton Anderson. And Easton Anderson is going to be a real key player for Central tonight because they're putting him on the defensive end edge, and they want him to get into the backfield and rain havoc on that Western offense. So we'll see if he's able to do that, as it's a 2nd down right now and 5 yards to go for Western.
It's always great when your playbook is on 2nd and 5, you know, as they come up, rush into the line like they did a little bit last week.
Trying to come to the near side again. Patience gets himself down to the 3-yard line as O'Hare, after he gets that lead block again from Wiedike, is able to move the sticks again. It'll be 1st and goal for the Western Warriors. And I would say that the offensive line is making some stuff happen for the Western Warriors early on.
Yeah, they're averaging at least 5 to 6 yards per carry right now. I'm talking about the first down one. And, you know, they're able to get where they have to get to. They've got a great push up there. And then they got guys like Wiedike that are trying to jump up and...
He's sniffing the goal line, and they've got him in to the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown. Boy, 10:57, they score the first touchdown. Then 4:53, they're on the board for the second time. And, you know, we talked in the past, Jason, the really impressive thing for me about Western is after they score the touchdown, their success rate with the 2-point conversion is off the charts.
They do it. It's what they practice. You know, a lot of teams don't practice it. A lot of teams, you know, years and years and years ago, back in the 80s and 90s, that was the traditional thing, going for 2, go for 2, go for 2. You know, and growing up as an All Saints, you know, student and as an All Saints fan, you know, Coach Biza loved the running game, loved to go for 2. Everything was on the ground. But these guys have really mastered the 2-point conversion.
There was a little confusion in the backfield, and it looked like O'Hare may have tripped up Wiedike, so we've got time out of the field with 4:53 left in the first quarter. Western 14, Central 7. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we are different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. And we've got Nick Page producing, directing, filming. He's doing the trifecta himself as this first quarter has been firework laden, Jason.
Just exactly what we had expected. We expected the Western offense to do what they're doing, is running the ball up and down the field, and we kind of expected Central to come out with a little bit of vigor themselves, and they did exactly that with Kaznowski to LJ for the touchdown connection.
Now McCullough, a lot of people say, he can't wait for basketball. He wants to finish football season in style.
Absolutely, and this is a great opportunity for him to go to basketball season on a high note.
There's a line drive kick. And that will be finally picked up by Bay City Central, trying to come to the wide side of the field, looking for a seam up over the 20 to about the 24-yard line. As on that return, looks like Carlos Harris brings that ball back.
Well, we'll get our second look here at the Central offense. Did a couple of good things. They had a little broken play that went for 8 yards on the positive side of it. They had the pass, obviously the touchdown pass to LJ, and they also had Harris in motion on the sweep. So they kind of mixed up a little bit of everything.
Well, and it's going to be very interesting to see Central's second offensive possession versus any potential adjustments the defense from Western makes. Look at Central with a trips, look, and motion to the near side of the field. Kaczynowski tried to cut to the corner. Again, great corner contained by the Bay City Western Warriors. And maybe, we're going to call it a gain of a yard on the play, but great job out there just shutting it off.
Looked a little slow to develop. I think they were kind of waiting on maybe something else to happen or maybe Western to bite on something, but none of it came to fruition. So Kaczynowski tried to make his best out of a situation that he could.
Well, and at some point, too, we've heard that Jamario Harris will be in a wildcat position, and he is a capable thrower, but we know his strength is in the wide receiver.
That anywhere he can use his legs is going to be his strength.
Empty backfield with five wide receivers. Throwing that ball downfield and just out of the stretched fingertips of the Central Wolves, Carson White. And Carson says, man, I was trying to find where I was at on the field. And he goes, I wish I had that one back. That one slipped through the hands, but he also knew that he was tiptoeing on the sideline.
That was a nice throw right there. I tell you, I wasn't sure that it was going to get there in bounds, but if he would have been able to catch that ball, I think that would have been a good completion.
Indeed, as Sporman comes back in with A.J. Kaczynowski, as it will be a 3rd down and 9-yard to go situation, and 3rd and long, not your normal recipe for success, but Central has enough playmakers that they can make stuff happen on 3rd and long.
They do, and I thought maybe we'd have seen the Wildcat just to get Harris a little touch at one point, but they're going to keep him in the backfield as a blocking back right now.
Oh, beautiful route that time by McCullough, but feeling the pressure coming from the backside. A.J. Kaczynowski airmailed that pass, but what a great route that time by McCullough. And Central's probably going to be forced this deep in their own end to punt the football.
And McCullough catches that ball. The defender was probably 5 to 7 yards off of him. I think he turns there. He has a chance to at least break another tackle. He would have had another nice long run. That's again, we're talking about what Coach Fredericks talked about. It's always that 1 or 2 plays, and that was one of them right now. I can tell you that they want back.
That's what you call a chunk play. But again, good pressure from the Western defense. Maybe forced him to rush that just a little bit. There's a high short kick, and they're yelling fire right now to get away from that thing. And that looked like one of Mike Wisdala's 9-irons. Hits on about the 43 and goes back to the 38-yard line. So you're going to have about a 12-yard net on that kick. And Western starts with a short field with 3:34 left in our first quarter of play.
I'm not sure, you don't want to give Western, especially the way that their offense is rolling right now, a short field, but at some point you don't want to get in a situation where you're going to have to start going forward on 4th down deep in your territory either.
And again, Western has good size offensively. I mean, they don't have a lot of 285-pound guys, but at 240 and 250 with those short splits, they just get off the football. O'Hare out of the short shotgun. He gives that ball to Wiedike. Central doing a much better job, and he does find a way to slip through. How did that happen? 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's another Western Warrior touchdown.
Unbelievable. I thought he was down. I thought he was going to be tackled for 3 or 4 times.
Well, when you look at that kid on the sidelines, and we were down on the field for a few minutes before the game, that kid's lower unit is thick and strong.
He looks like a telephone pole, and I'm talking one leg.
Yep, that's what I call the fire hydrant look, because that is just one big, thick lower body. Now we'll see if Western can convert on their third 2-point attempt here in the first quarter.
Well, Wiedike got the tackle last time accidentally.
Trying to roll it out, and look at the touch pass. Complete. The 2-point conversion is good. Looking to see who that was. I can't tell by him turning around if that was Randall or not. But the 2-point conversion is good. We'll get the number in a minute. Back in a moment on Bay County TV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating, both meeting current state guidelines. And we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here on Bay County TV, the Western Band, after that great combined band pregame show, says we'd still like to play our fight song a few more times, and they've got 3 renditions in here with still 3:23 left in our first quarter of play.
Haven't seen any push-ups being done yet, but somebody owes us 22 so far for the Warriors.
Yeah, we'll wait and find out who's going to do those. Haven't looked over there to see that. Western again kicking off for the 3rd time in this game. Western with a much better handle on the ball, trying to come back around, looking for a seam, trying to slide to the outside, up over the 35 to the 37, the best starting field position for the Central Wolves.
Benny Facunda with that return. He had a couple of times he got his hand on a couple of earlier kickoffs, wasn't able to grab that one, but that one he wasn't going to let go. He thought he could make something happen, and he did. He brought it back out to the 42.
And I believe Benny had that last return too. I may have given Carlos Harris, but the Central numbers, some of those numbers are really tough to see. The 5s and the 8s and the 9s all are looking similar. Maybe just the old peeps aren't what they used to be. Central again running an empty backfield. Kazanowski back and sends that ball out. Looks like Harris gets it, and the Western defense was all over that play once again.
They were. I thought they sniffed that one out right away. It's a pass, it's a completion. It's almost better to let that one go.
Well, there's no gain on the play, but you know what? I like to think just the fact that you complete that pass, you need to make those connections with your receivers and make a few pass completions, and all of a sudden you start feeling the rhythm. And the rhythm throws are what will turn into the big ones.
Well, watching Kaz in warm-ups, I thought he was really impressive with his deep throws. I thought he had nice touch, and we saw the one with Carson White that he just missed on earlier in that last possession. So, certainly expect him to keep airing it out because he does throw a really nice deep ball. And he's got some guys with some speed, so if they can, maybe take advantage of the defensive backfield from the Warriors.
And, Caden Ramirez is another kid that has had some success being able to run the football in the past, but this year they're really trying to spread things out. And Central's opportunities for big plays are there because they're going against man coverage defensively. So it only takes one good move and to have that pass on the spot, and the potential for big plays are right in the neighborhood.
I love the officials talking with the Western players there while Central was in the huddle. I think just letting everybody talk about what they need to, and seeing a lot of good body language down there from the Warriors.
A.J. Kazanowski just ran out of time as he got to the 30-yard line, and he was consumed by the Western defense. And again, that number turning around is going to be number 36. I think it's Dylan Reynolds.
We'll give Dylan the sack on that one. We'll, again, if he could just get a little bit better uniform colors for us,
Well, 2024, we look so forward to that because the numbers are going to be block numbers in uniform, and they are going to be a lot easier for us to see. But Central again is going to be in a punting situation. Good exchange. That kick is way better than the first. And taken way back. Look at the coverage for Central. Ramirez all over that punt return. And is that ball loose?
And I think that was Kaznowski down there as well.
And Kaznowski, yep. So the two of them together just came up with a great 1-2 on that kick return. So Western will start at their own 38-yard line. And we've got 47 ticks left in the first quarter. So if this is a ground play, you're probably going to have the last play of the first quarter take place right here.
Well, the big thing for the Central defense right now is to get a stop, get a tackle, especially if you got Wiedike with the ball. They got to get him. I think they need some confidence tackling him and knowing that they can do it. You know, as Mike Vincent likes to say, as a pack of wolves.
And there's a much better job of getting to the football. Look at the Central helmet. 7 helmets to the football and a modest gain on the play. And they will not need to run another play. The referee's walking up right now, and he's going, yep, we do not have to run another play. It's up to Western whether or not they want to do that. And Coach Willards is calling out a play right now. And I really think, obviously, what you see in the first quarter is they're really trying to reestablish Wiedike after the tough game he had last week. And you always still got to watch out for O'Hare and Randall, though. And there's Wiedike going around the corner, pulling behind 2 people, and he's caught by the shoe tops. As that Kaznowski with a great tackle, and he was maybe stopped what could have been a very lengthy game.
Kaznowski's going to be doing a little bit of everything. You know, I think that's one of the things that we talked with Coach Frederick about before the season started. We'll talk about that after the break.
We'll be back in just a moment on Bay County TV.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. We have got ourselves the first quarter in the books, 22-7. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Covenant Healthcare, Bay City Bills, Village Towing, Collier Chiropractic, and Frank's Great Outdoors. 5 awesome sponsors, also the Central and Western Booster Clubs. And we thank them for their generosity, too. We've got a little movement that time on the offense prior to the snap, and that's coming from the umpire. So which of the 3 positions did that come from, Jason? You've done your homework. Umpire's got center and 2 guards.
Center and 2 guards.
That's all he's got to look at. So when he throws that flag for a false start, it's one of those 3 players.
He's got a 33% chance of being right. Or you got a 33% chance of getting caught.
You know, and that's one spot on the field as an official. You better have your head on a swivel. You better have your knees in a bent position because stuff's coming right at you. Trying to move the other way again. And look at O'Hare banging forward, and he is going to pick up yardage down to the 37-yard line. Continues to get that push from his offensive line.
He should have got a couple more yards. He carried 3 Wolves with him. He carried 3 Wolves with him from the 45 down to the 37.
It is just amazing to see when this offense is right, how efficiently they move the ball down the field.
Well, it's their blocking up front, and they're hitting linebackers. I mean, they're getting into the secondary part of the Central defense before they're even hitting somebody, and those guys aren't even making contact with the runners until 7 yards later. So,
well, Big Patrick Ivan, he tips it at 302 pounds, so he's getting off the football, and there's that counter play, and that goes to the outside, and nobody's going to catch this one. 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, into the end zone. Randall with a Western Warrior touchdown. You were looking for it earlier, Coach, and you knew it was coming. You didn't know when, but man, what a great seal block on the edge to allow Randall to get to the outside and just turn on the Benny and the Jets.
Everybody on that defensive swayed between O'Hare and Wiedike, which, again, we're sitting here talking about that's their formula. That's what they do, and that's what they're successful with. We didn't get a chance to see them last week at their best. Take away the turnovers, the conditions, didn't allow Weedike carried 14 times, 30 yards. I mean, that was a very uncharacteristic performance from Andy fumbled, which is something he doesn't do.
Yep.
Because you're not going to take the ball from that guy.
That is not something that's normally going to happen. Another 2-point conversion. It's 28-7 with 11:15 left in the first half. This looks like an O'Hare keeper. Patience as he gets hit, and he's not going to get to the goal line. Time out on the field again with 11:15 left in the first half. 28-7, Western over Central. Back in a moment on BCTV.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Back here on Bay County TV as the Western Warriors come out onto the field. I really think that it's this next possession for Bay City Central is going to be the key possession. A.J. Kazanowski's got to make it happen, but you're going to need people like Luke Zanotti up front and Neitzel. And those guys have got to find holes for Harris and time for Kazanowski to make something happen because Central needs an answer here desperately.
Well, we talked about it earlier. You don't want to get in those fourth downs where you have to go, where they become mandatory that you start going for them, especially deep in your territory. But if they can at least give their defense a little bit of a break right now, would be a start. They can keep a little time of possession here.
There's a high deep end over end kick. It's going to be taken by Bay City Central. Looks like McCullough. He comes to the outside. He's made a couple of people miss. He's got some room on the sidelines out to the 35-yard line. Nice job on the return tackle by number 45, Ben Herber. Boy, when they're right in front of us, those numbers look big.
They're
Coach.
great. I tell you what, that was a great tackle. It was a great run back. It was, again, it started off almost a little broken play. Went through one's hand, I believe it was Facundo's, and then LJ was able to recover it and then make something out of nothing. Andy shot a tackle at about the 15 to 20-yard line and then was able to get out to the 35.
At the 11:06 mark of the first half, big offensive set for Bay City Central in their offense. The offensive line actually does a nice job of blasting a hole for almost a 5-yard gain that time, as the right side of the offensive line did a great job of caving down the defensive left side for Western.
I tell you, the Luke Zanotti just finished his tackle almost back to Auburn. He almost took Dylan Reynolds all the way back for him. It's good to see, good, clean blocks. I mean, that's the one thing we're talking about here. We've got some great technique down there in that front five. And when they do that, you're able to get 4 or 5 yards a pop.
Well, you got a couple of brothers down on the defensive line that are short but extremely strong. You said you remind her of the Steiners back in the days.
Yeah, the Cynics are. Comes another big block right back at you.
There goes Kazanowski. Look at him moving the pile forward as he pushes out to the 48-yard line. So nice job and a little how do at the
hey,
end.
How are you?
Yeah.
Elbow meet rib.
That was Trevor Scenic. And he's just half of that Scenic combo on the defensive line, but love the way that Kazanowski finished that play.
He finished it strong, again, setting up, got Harris in motion. You got Zanotti pulling there and making something happen and taking that lane right behind him. If you're going to run behind somebody, I would go definitely behind number 74.
That is a recipe for success at 285 pounds. First and 10, Bay City Central. Their own 48-yard line. Quick pitch to Harris on the outside. Look at that pursuit defensively. Shut Harris down for a 1-yard gain on the play. Reynolds gets there. Scenic gets there. Chope is there. Bachikalupo is there. They were all flowing to the football.
I think that was I can't say a pack of warriors. I'm not sure what a group of warriors would be, but a tribe.
Yep.
The tribe has been tribe called Quest right there. They definitely took the.
Once Western's defense recognizes what's going on, their flow to the football and the number of hats that get to the point
quickly,
is amazing.
No, they do. They get a good run at it. They put Mount Pleasant on their heels last week a couple of times. It's a good defense.
Kazanowski gets a nice ball from center. Throws that ball down. A perfectly thrown ball. Complete on the play to Ben Facundo. And that was a pretty ball that time from Kazanowski.
Very nice. But again, what you talked about earlier, what did he have? He had time. When he has time, he's able to step into that throw. And that offensive line that time definitely gave him time. And Facundo ran his route, sat down in the open spot and said, I'll take this 15, 16-yard gain all day long.
Well, and again, this Central team, we talked about it in the pregame. We talked about it early in the first quarter. They're still a young team. They have got, Neitzel is the big center in the middle, and he's the one that calls all the plays, but they've got some talent in the sub-senior ranks as Harris is going to the wide side. They're trying to get to the outside, and Kazanowski has nowhere to go again as Chope gets in there in a hurry, and there was a whole lot of help in on that play as looks like number 52 was in on that Rajewski. They just got there, and it's a 4-yard loss on the play. Again, swarming to the football.
They found once they realized Harris didn't have it, and they were able to key right on to AJ. It was every man. I mean, and that's the thing you're talking about. They flow so well right to that ball. Once they know where it's at, they go to it and they attack. And I think that's a Coach Willard staple.
Second down, 13 yards to go. Kazanowski back. He's got time to throw the football. Goes with a nice safe pass over the middle. He gets about 5 back of what he needed, which is going to bring up a 3rd down and 9. Again, another nice confidence throw right on the dot. Move the down box, and it's going to be 3rd down and 9.
Got time back there again. That offensive line really stepped up. Got a nice block from Harris out there on the corner. And he was able to step into the throw. It's amazing what he's able to do when he can step into that throw confidently, and he's throwing a really tight ball. We've seen some really good quarterbacks this year, the games that you and I have done. And I tell you right now, Kaz is throwing as nice of a ball as we've seen.
He does have a pretty throw. He wishes he was about 6'4", though, but I mean, you got to go with what you got. But he certainly makes it happen. He comes and he throws on the run, just a little bit underthrown. Good route run that time, but it's going to be 4th down and about 10 yards to go, as it looked like McCullough was out there on the far side.
I think that's the big thing right there is, one, being able to get your feet set and be able to drive that ball, and then when you're on the run trying to make that pass before LJ even made his turn. He left it a little short. It's another throw that I'm sure that he would like to have back. But, here we are on 4th down, and let's see what we can come up with here.
Well, he says, hey, I'm going to get another try on 4th down to make this happen. So,
what
roll the dice.
Yeah, well, you're able to control the field. You flipped it already with this possession with a couple of nice plays. So
how about a Harris screen pass here? So we haven't seen any screen action yet. Kazanowski with a couple of pump fakes, takes it downfield, buries his head down, gets to the 30, but he's going to end up being about 4 yards short. Credit the defensive backfield that time from Western for really not having a central receiver open for Kazanowski to throw to.
Yeah, Ben Sportman actually snuck out, but by that time, AJ was in do or die mode and was already on the run for his life. So Sportman was like, hey, I'm open, but that's like the same thing in basketball when the guy's wide open down low and you jack up a triple. I didn't see ya.
Till it was too late.
Sheesh.
I'm already doing technique, though. 7:08 left in our first half of play. And the Western Warriors feeling lonely starting this one way back on the 30-yard line.
Have not seen an O'Hara pass yet. That's going to be something to keep an eye out for as
Weedike again, Central doing a much better job of getting to the football. Amongst others in on the tackle is Ben Sporman, and getting up out of the bottom of the stack also is 77 Sirianni and
Martino Sampson.
Yep.
They got 277, so you can take a pick.
All right.
I'm going with the senior.
It's probably Martino.
I just want to say Martino.
I like that. Yep, and I would imagine the sophomores here on the sideline. So
the one that looks a lot smaller.
Yes, there's a little difference in size. So gain of about 4 on the play, 2nd and 6. Again, there is O'Hare. and he gets to the outside, and it's just uncanny the way he plants that foot as he's picking up the first down right now. And his burst of speed to the outside is just unbelievable.
He's very patient, and that's the thing about it, is you don't know when he's ready to plant that foot because he's so patient and he follows his blockers to the point where he can finally get to where he sees the hole or where he sees the gap opening up. Very patient, very good runner.
Harrison Sporman in on that tackle again, and Ben's done a great job defensively, and I'm going to tell you, Jamario Harris is going to be really something special to watch here in the next couple of years. He's only a sophomore, but he's going to do nothing but get better as he gets bigger, and he's a track athlete too, and he runs like the wind.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to see him a little bit on the offensive side as well once he gets more comfortable out there.
Again, another patient run to the outside, an 11-yard gain. We're going to have a penalty flag on the play, and this is almost always going to go against the offense, and they're going to go way back to the 45-yard line. Oh, they're going to have a clipping. They're going to have a chop-type block. Used to be called the clip. Now they call it high-low for chop. Well, and that's going to be a 15 yards of real estate. Oh, they got that on Central for an illegal block. So they're going to add a chunk onto the end of that play. And that is, we are going to have timeout, Bay City Central, as Coach Frederick wants to talk to his defense. It's 28-7 with 5:50 left in the first half. Back in a moment on BCTV.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Back here on BCTV as you look over on the sidelines. And Coach Willards, he's dressed for battle. He had the orange hat on. He's got the old hunting gear on, and he's hunting wolves tonight.
Oh, I tell you, he's the one that got everybody rolling and rocking and everything else. He brings intensity right to the student body as well as his team.
1st and 10 again. There is another one. Wiedike breaking tackles, spinning his way down to the 13-yard line as the Central Wolf is down and going to get back up, and I'm trying to see who that is. Got nicked up, and he's probably going to need to come out of the game for a play or two. But again, Wiedike is just cranking it out here in the first half. He's got to have 125 or 30 yards. Lee Thompson, the great M Live reporters here with the golden tablet. So we'll find out what he's got. They've got a little motion right now, and they're running Wiedike up the middle, and he's making this look easy as he picks up another 11 yards down to the 4 with still 5:21 left in the first half. And why not feed the horse?
I think he could have scored there. I think he was looking for contact. He's out there trying to find someone to hit him.
With this Western offense was a little bit saddened by their effort last week, and they certainly have come out in the first half and made a statement. Sniffing the goal line and in. It's another Western Warrior touchdown.
Wiedike with another nice blast up the middle. You know, it's again, he's not getting touched till he's 6 yards into the defensive backfield, and by then in this situation at the 5-yard line, you're a yard into the end zone. So
sniffing the goal line. 2-point conversion attempt. And they're going to give that ball right up the middle. The conversion is good as well. Time out of the field with 5:04 left in our first half. 36-7 Western over Central. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back back on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham as we look out over that vast sidelines. Now, there's a lot of Western fans over there, but there's a lot of people that come every week to the Central game that prefer to sit on the 45, 50-yard line on the visitor side and have been there for many, many years.
They have been, and this is one of the games that it makes it very uncomfortable when you're over there because you're used to not having this many people surrounding you, especially cheering for the other team. I was one of those guys back in the 90s that was on that side for sure.
I was back here in the late 60s, early 70s selling programs. Again, another ball that's finally picked up by Bay City Central. Coming to the near side of the field and taking it up to about the 28-yard line. I'm trying to look to see.
Carson White, maybe.
Carson White, yep. Again, that 8 and that 0. Making the peeps a little tough for us to see, but he gets back out to the 29-yard line. Pretty good return for Bay City Central. Pretty nice spot to set up the offense, and let's see if Central can make something happen offensively here late in the first half.
They had a nice possession last time. They got snubbed out there on the 4th down, but I tell you what, a couple of nice passes, a couple of nice plays by AJ can get this offense rolling.
Kazanowski comes forward, and again, nice positive play. If you can pick up a solid 4 on first down, that's really good. And it looks like Gurman, amongst others, in on that tackle for the Western Warriors.
Yeah, I think you're going to be able to call out about 3 or 4. And every time Western tackles, it's 3 or 4 players. It's every time. And you pointed it out earlier about how well that they travel to the ball and once they identify, and they really have a nose for it. And I think, aside from the rivalry game, again, I think they just want to continue to make progress for a playoff game next week.
Well, and you got J.J. Whitaker, too, at 5'10 and 315. So, and he's a kid that wrestles, too. So, look at Kazanowski looking for real estate. He's got that first down as he gets up to the 40-yard line. Knew exactly where he needed to go as he was finally knocked out of bounds by Herber.
Yeah, Randall over there as well, kind of got caught on the inside a little bit. AJ made a nice read on that read option with Harris going in motion. Hasn't had a lot of time, hasn't had a lot of touches. Harris, I'm talking about. So you wonder if they're going to start trying to just, again, we talk about it week in, week out, give it to him just to try to set that play up for AJ a little bit more.
Well, Kazanowski did a great job of playing off his block. He got to the spot he knew and to get to. Plus, you get out of bounds to stop the clock. So still 4:08 left in the first half. A lot of time as trying to take that ball up the middle is Harris, and he gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And there's 5 white jerseys there. And amongst those people in on the hit, get J.J. Whitaker, 5'10 and 315. He's what you call a space eater out there.
He is definitely all of that. But, the thing about him that's impressive is his foot speed. For somebody that with that size comes from good stock and, has a dad that knows a little bit about wrestling, knows a little bit about football, understands that athleticism. Yeah. And, he's fleet foot out there, and he's a space eater. You got to keep your eye on him.
I go way back with Jeremy, too. It's something I've watched this young man grow up, shall we say. So Harris gets it on the outside and is able to spin forward. They're going to give him enough for the first down. Oh, drop that beanbag there, line judge. Thank you. When you're going back to take care of something like that, you got to reach down just to the left side of your belt clip, and you got to drop that beanie if you're going to go and see what else is going on. But great job by Harris on the run. Kazanowski took a big hit, though, as soon as he handed that ball off.
I tell you, he did, and one of the things he was looking for was like, hey, I don't have the ball. That's like what you do in the old backyard.
Yep.
Hey, I don't have the ball. Don't hit me.
Yep, no chips on windows either.
No, negative, Ghost Rider.
Serious action. Central up at midfield right now with a nice-looking drive. Kazanowski with a nice pass to the outside. Nice move. Getting up past first down is Ben Facundo again.
Nice play.
Now, I like this rhythm of this series for Bay City Central as Coach Frederick says we're going to move the sticks again down to the 40-yard line. Another 1st and 10 for Central. They're starting to feel it.
These last 2 possessions, they're going to be able to go into halftime. Again, don't look at the scoreboard, but they're going to go into halftime with these last 2 drives, and they know they've got something working here. Now, can they sustain it? Can they put some points on the board? That's going to be the key thing for them. That's their next step.
Correct. Yeah, you can have great drives, but the key word is finish. You got to finish these drives to make them happen. As we're going to be in for a nice halftime show too, as we had combined bands for the pregame. We were able to get the national anthem. We'll try and get a little of the halftime show in as well. Kazanowski has McCullough motion to the near side. Kazanowski trying to shake and bake, and look at the backside pursuit from Chope as he just shuts that play down. And Kazanowski was like, oh man, if I have another step through there, looks like I got some daylight. But backside pursuit again from Western, making it happen.
Kaz is saying one thing and Chope is saying stay right there.
It's tough when you got the vision to see what's in front of you, and all of a sudden somebody from behind gets you on the angle. Time now a factor here, Jason.
Yeah, down to under a minute and a half, under 90 seconds left here in the first half. But again, you got a couple timeouts left. Be nice if they can get a first down here and maybe either spike it or get something quick going up to it, get a little pace going into it.
Kazanowski back with time, throwing back across his body. Pass is complete, looking to get to the corner. Down to about the 14-yard line on the play. Benny Facundo with a great run, and they're going to have him actually down inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line. So how about the Jets for Benny as he, pun intended, put it on and got to the far side.
Well, the best part about that is he started out here on the near side to us and ended up basically just doing a crossing route. Gets the ball in stride, has a great block up there from LJ McCullough, and was able to spring it at least for another 10 yards, maybe 15 yards additional.
And that pass was feathered between two defenders that just came within a fingernail of getting it. So credit Kazanowski with putting it in perfect position. Now he's going to run the ball again. He's sniffing the goal line. He may be in.
Touchdown.
He got a Central Wolf touchdown. Huge drive for Bay City Central here late in the first half.
We just talked about it, we were talking about how time, trying to get a first down. They've had a very good drive last one. This was a better drive because they put points on the board. Can their defense is going to be the key here in the second half. They're going to have to get some stops because this offense right now is starting to click.
Extra point, Wilson with 37 ticks left. Able to get that kick up, and it might have come out a little bit low. Either way you look at it, the extra point is no good. Time out of the field with 37 ticks left in the first half. Back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back on Bay County TV as we have got 37 ticks left in our first half of play. Central with a great answer and putting 6 points on the board, coming up a little short on the extra point, but now it's time to shut down the Western Warriors here at the end of the first half because Central will receive the second half kickoff.
Yeah, this is going to be key. Western's not going to, I don't think they're just going to take a knee either. I think they'll look to either continue doing what they're doing or even maybe give O'Hara a chance to try and connect with Randall over the top. And it's going to depend on, of course, the kick return. Field position is going to be key on their decision making.
Well, I think Randall will be a key factor, whether it's on a counter play or whether it's in the potential to catch a pass. And Central almost has to play Randall man-to-man because of the way that they've got to protect against the run.
Right.
There's going to be a short kick, and that one is taken at about the 30-yard line. Coming up over the 40 with room to roam out to the 49-yard line is number 23 on the play, Owen Folsom.
Well, gets him back to midfield, so you can't ask for, aside from plus territory. That's a great field position start for the Warriors here with 30 seconds left here in the first half.
Another great opportunity for Western here with, I believe, 2 timeouts remaining.
It'll be interesting. Again, they've got some options, and we all know their capabilities of striking fast, either on the counter or just giving the ball to Wiedek and letting them crash up the middle. You just got to remind them, hey, 30 seconds, down in distance, and let's know what we're doing.
I see very little potential for just Wiedike going up the middle. I think you're going to see O'Hare and Randall touching the ball here in the last 30 seconds of this first half, but I'm not going to try and outthink the coach. He's coming to the near side of the field knowing exactly what he wants to do. He picks up 5, and we're going to have a timeout on the field with 23 ticks left, and now it's down to 22 seconds left as they tried to get a chunk play. Man, they had some folks out in front, but not enough to make it happen. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients, with the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
Back here on BCTV, Jeff Doe and Jason Newsham, and producing, directing, and filming tonight, the trifecta, Nick Page, as we look down at the sideline for Bay City Central. Coach Kazanowski and the get-back coach Jeffrey Anderson, as Coach Frederick was out there. Kevin had his words early in that huddle, and now it's up for Bay City Central in the last 22 seconds to shut down this potent Western offense.
Well, it'll be interesting. Again, we're sitting here playing the chess match up here in the booth. They've got some options down there. They got 5 on first down. Again, that's about what they're averaging on first down with Wiedike or O'Hara running.
And there again, they're going to run to the outside. And again, a great block, and he does a nice job because he's going to pick up the first down and get out of bounds. That took 8 seconds. I think pretty well defended by Bay City Central.
It was. There was a chance. I thought he had a crease going up, but you know what? The defense was able to not lose their containment, not lose their pressure, as we got down to 14 seconds left here in the first half.
Smart enough to step out of bounds. So if they have 2 timeouts remaining, I don't remember that they used one. They may have 2 timeouts left. That could be enough for 3 plays.
Yeah, and the way that they're running the ball and getting the ball up and down with the way their coaching staff is over there is the pass.
As they're going to throw that ball deep and just overthrown the intended receiver. And that might have been Randall down there in the back corner.
Randall and Granson down there, and I think Granson actually had a couple of steps behind his defender, and I don't know if O'Hara was just keyed on to Randall at that time, but he actually had Granson right there, which would have been a huge, huge, huge uplifting opportunity for the Warriors. Yes. In a huge, huge, huge era of deflation for the Wolves.
Well, and that's a big target out there other than Randall running down to that same spot on the field. But I think that somebody may have messed up on a route because you do not want 2 receivers in the same little spot on the field. Western may have their last opportunity here in the first half. Trying to get that ball down, and that will take us to the end of our first half of play, and our score, Western Warriors 36 and the Central Wolves 13. Back in a moment, we'll recap the first half, set the stage for the second half on BCTV.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and today I'm here to change your outlook on becoming a referee. Sometimes being a referee can be hard work, but I'm here to tell you that the positives far outweigh the negatives. Just think of the impact you could have on the younger generation, the laughs you could share, and the lives you could change. There's an unofficiated game that needs you.
Back at the half here on BCTV, the Frank's Great Outdoors halftime show. First half, Western with their ground chuck just really took it to the ground and made some big, big plays, chunk plays.
They did, and the plays that they're making, can really be a deflation to a defense. And the one thing that, I was impressed with the Central a little bit, they would have a couple of really good defensive plays where they would gang tackle Wiedike, or they'd make sure O'Hara wouldn't get to the outside. But then, Randall comes through on the counter. They have so many options, and it's tough to stop every single option that Western poses out there. And for sure, the one thing that Western's going to have to, Central's going to have to make at halftime is they're going to have to figure out some defensive adjustments, and how they're going to be able to not just focus on Wiedike or not just focus on O'Hara, but they're going to have to put a little bit extra eyes on them.
last two drives in the first half, Bay City Central really looked like they found their offensive rhythm.
Yeah, they've been looking for that throughout the first. The first possession, they got the ball out to McCullough. He made a nice play, nice spin, had a nice block downfield, and was able to take it the distance. Then they had a couple of possessions where they were kind of flat, but then, they started mixing it up a little bit. Kaz on the run, Kaz on the pass, Harris on the run, Facundo on a catch and run. So they're doing a lot of nice little things, really trying to set up something next level for them. So, I expect them to continue to build on that. But again, it's going to come down to when can their defense make a stop.
First series of the second half, Central gets their hands on the ball. I think it's imperative the way Western has moved the ball and put points on the board for Central to have a quick answer in the start of the third quarter.
I think if they're able to maintain that momentum that they just created on those last two possessions, able to get downfield, maybe get a score, I think you might even see an onside kick type situation where they're just going to try to keep the possessions on their side for the offensive side and not even let Wiedeke and O'Hara and Randall and the rest of the Warriors get the ball on offense.
Well, we're going to take a quick break and then catch a little bit of the halftime show. Back for all the second half action in just a couple, as this concludes the Frank's Great Outdoors halftime show on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV, ready to rock here in the third quarter. Jeff Toad and Jason Newsom along with you. And again, we talked at the half for a minute. First off, I want to send a quick apology. We decided not to do the halftime show because Western obviously played their halftime show to their fans, and the sound we couldn't replicate bouncing back off, so we decided not to do the Western or Central. We were glad to get the cheer team in, so that was our thought here as we ready to roll here in the start of the third quarter. Is a low line drive kick. Nice big Sunday hop for the Bay City Central Wolves up to the 40-yard line on the return. with the tackle with Forrester. Facundo with a really nice return.
You know, he's had a couple of opportunities, and he had that nice catch in the first half. It wasn't just a catch, but it was a catch and run after the yak, as you call him.
And that was a perfect touch pass from Kazanowski, too, as the defensive fingertips were outstretched, thought they could get it, and Kazanowski just put it in a perfect place.
I think the Western defensive mindset now is trying to figure out a way to keep their defensive backs a little bit more time. It's a nice play call right there. It was a nice setup is what it was.
It looked like it was designed to run all the way, and Kazanowski weaves his way through for a quick 6.
Well, again, he had guys in motion. He has that defensive backfield now. They're all thinking pass, so, you know, why not? They start going backwards. All of a sudden, you've got your linemen who are doing a great job blocking, seal their guys, and all of a sudden you're able to take a little sneak up the middle and go, hey, again, 2nd and 4, your play calling is a little bit different than what it's going to be if it's 2nd and 12.
Well, and I can really see the last 2 drives of that first half. The Central offense is really starting to feel a rhythm. Let's see if they're able to continue as they get that ball out on the outside. An incomplete pass is very well timed defensively. And I didn't think they got there early. Of course, there's a lot better people on the field with a better angle and a closer look than I did. But 3rd down and 4 is still a pretty makeable 3rd and 4 for Bay City Central.
Well, there's about 1,200 referees right down below us, and I didn't hear them doing too much chirping themselves. So I'm going to go with the striped shirts made the correct decision on a no call out there. You know, not a bad play set up. You know, a couple guys sat down in some open spots. It just was a little off target.
3rd down and 4 again. Twins to the near, twins to the far side. Tight end here to the near side as well. So Kazanowski tries to go, and he just gets hit at the line of scrimmage with absolutely nowhere to go.
I think Sporman there, he was trying to block a couple of guys downfield and did not get the first 2 guys, and unfortunately those were the 2 guys that were all over Kazanowski.
Well, it was one of those scenic things again. They were swarming to the football, and now looks like Bay City Central might roll the dice, and they realize they got to put points on the board if they're going to be in this game.
Well, they had a couple of good-looking drives at end the first half. This started off promising, a couple of nice plays, and you know, Kazanowski. Let's see what Kazanowski can do here. Well, got to make a play.
They've got man coverage too. They're coming with a little quick blitz up the inside. Kazanowski's trying to spin away, and he throws that ball away, and it'll be an incomplete pass on 4th down. And again, great play call for Bay City Central, but the blitz for Western didn't get picked up by the offensive line, and you've got a play now where Kazanowski's running for his life.
You know, I know they like rolling him out, you know, because being smaller in stature, you know, being able to get around the corners there gives you a little bit more. Your peripheral kind of opens up the field a little bit more. But I tell you, I like him dropping back and getting that nice coverage with his front 5 guys where they're able to let him sit back there and then step into a pass. Maybe we'll see more of that, but the rollouts, he's not overly, doesn't look overly confident as much as he does when he just catches it in the back.
Well, 1st and 10. Here comes the human battering ram, and oh my goodness, umpire was in one of those positions that I've been in before, and when you see that big choo-choo train coming right at you, there is no place you can hide.
No, and I was talking to a couple people at halftime, you know, just doing a little walk around and, you know, asking what their view from their the end zone is, and I tell you what, they're like, the Weedite kid just likes to make contact. He says, here's a couple of times he looks like a pinball, opposite of a pinball. He's the one trying to.
The ball's on the ground. And the Western Warriors come up with that football. As Jason, it even falls forward for a 2-yard gain off fumble.
Oh, here is the only guy that I know that can pull the ball out, fumble it, and go positive. And there wasn't even a Central Wolf defender around the ball.
It was a fortuitous bounce. There's O'Hare again as he tries to cut to the outside, and boy, there's that umpire again. He's going to have nightmares of Weedite and O'Hare coming at him.
His wife's going to be saying, what do you keep saying 6 and 32 for, honey? 6 and 32.
It's 38. It adds up to 38.
They just keep coming, honey. They just keep coming.
They just won't stop. They're going to move the sticks again. Another 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Well, we haven't seen a counter action here, but of course it's early in their possession, and there's nothing wrong with just giving the ball to that guy right there.
Boy, look at the way he cuts to daylight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 into the end zone. It's another Western Warrior touchdown. Cut across the grain, back across the grain. You either have that or you don't. That's a real tough learning skill.
That, and I'm sitting here watching it develop because it was right here in front of us, and all I kept thinking to myself going, I might have got about a 3-yard gain on that.
Yeah, I mean, the angle we had, we saw where we saw that backside open up. He cut back across the grain, total daylight.
He looked like Moses over there.
As there's another conversion, he falls forward. He's into the end zone. He gets the touchdown. He gets the 2-point conversion. Time out of the field with 8:56 left in the third. 44-13, Western over Central. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back on Bay County TV as the Western Warriors shut down Central's first drive and then come up with a quick strike of their own and have a 44-13 lead with just under 9 left in the third.
Well, we're going to go back to what we've been saying the last couple of times. It's going to be big time for Central's offense, A, to keep their defense off of the field, and 2 is to get something sustainable. Again, we're talking about a young offense and just trying to figure out what it is that they can continue to build on.
There's a nice line drive. Another one picked up by Bay City Central, not super clean, but getting to the outside as Easton Anderson makes a nice return on the play back out to about the 27-yard line. Was that Anderson or was that Carson White?
Carson White,
yep.
Number 10.
Now the umpire has a little trouble getting the ball in from the sideline as well. He's still seeing 6 and 32.
And for good reason, folks. The Western defense, trying to build, not necessarily the strength. If you're going to look at out of the 2 of their offense or defense, you're going to say their offense is their strength. Defense isn't a weakness necessarily, but there's definitely going to be some things that they're going to want to look at on film and try and tweak and continue to get better on. That first possession to stopping the Wolves here in the second half was a good start for their defense.
Boy, Central with the spread. Harris going to the wide side of the field. Kazanowski has plenty of time to throw that ball, and it's picked off by the Western Warriors and down inside the 20-yard line. And I tried to look as Kazanowski got ready to throw that. I couldn't tell if he slipped or not, but that ball was thrown. I think the linebacker just kind of flowed to Kazanowski's eyes and stepped right in front of the receiver.
Connor Chope, again, he's been making a lot of plays on the defensive side of it. That time he just basically played the flat, and fortunately for him, the ball was a little underthrown, and fortunately for him, it was thrown right to him. And that, if you would have dropped it, that's why they would have told him. That's why you play linebacker.
That's why
now he's going to be telling the coaches, hey, I want to touch on the offensive side. You saw what I could do.
Look at this potential here. 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors, already in the red zone at the 20-yard line. O'Hare gives that ball to Randall. Randall's trying to cut to the outside. Look at him come back across the grain and get down to about the 12-yard line. And the thing is, it looked like he was down about the 14, but he was laying on the stomach of the Central tackler.
Martino Sampson again, nice vicious tackle. It was a great tackle. Held him up, but he also didn't put him on the ground at the 14. He kind of rolled him through.
Well, and they're going to back him back up near that 14-yard line. I'm not certain of that spot because I think he never hit the ground. And there's O'Hare. He's got room for daylight. He's down sniffing the goal line. He's into the end zone.
He's into the gymnasium. he's on Columbus.
Warrior touchdown.
He's delivering Gwiz's mail.
Oh, my goodness.
I tell you, the best part about it, he just followed. I mean, it was a wall of white. It was a whiteout in front of him. All he had to do was keep going.
He is so patient as a runner, Jason, and he just waits for that play to develop, finds the seam, and then just explodes.
Well, very impressive run, very impressive turnover, turning the turnover into points right away for the Warriors.
Well, we've played 3 minutes and 59 seconds of our second half. Western kicked off to Central, and they're going to be a little bit short on the conversion. It's no good. But kicking off, they've scored 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. We got time out of the field. 50-13, Western over Central. Will be in a tip situation, and explain that when we come back in a moment on BCTV.
You treat your family with extraordinary care every day, which is why when it comes to their health, more of you choose Covenant Healthcare. We specialize in extraordinary care, from diagnosis to recovery, from babies to grandparents. Learn more about our extraordinary bariatrics program. Sign up for our free seminar.
Looking back at the scoreboard, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, we've got tips now. The T is for
timeouts.
All right, the I is for
injuries.
P is for
points.
Points score. No, it's penalties.
It's penalties.
And the S is for
scores.
Bingo, bango, bongo. TIPS, the 4 situations where between now and 50 points, the clock operator will handle things. We don't anticipate getting to a super clock situation, but if so, that clock stops for nothing other than injuries. That ball taken on the 30-yard line with a nice little baseball. Looked like a shortstop recovery out there for number 5, Ben Facundo.
Facundo is known around the area, for his baseball prowess. His father, proud Central alum, and one of his Little League coaches all the way up through. Big supporter of the baseball program, as you can see by that scoop.
No, great hands on that scoop, and he was able to get plus 10 on the return. So Central starts shop here with 7:25 left in our third quarter in a running clock situation, seeing if they can make something happen here offensively.
We still haven't seen the Wildcat. I'm maybe expecting maybe a couple of possessions or a couple of downs at least. Again, but it's tough to do anything when you've got.
And again, A.J. Kazanowski can't make much happen because here comes Dylan Reynolds defensively, really not giving him time to have many options out there, and he got rid of the ball. But again, running clock situation, we're now under 7.
Yeah, I thought Kazanowski rolling out there, he just didn't have any time, even to go through his progressions as we like to look for.
He had one progression that wasn't there and had to get rid of the ball because he could tell Reynolds was hot on his trail.
Yeah, Reynolds broke through the line real quick, and his pressure in pursuit of Kazanowski was very strong.
Looks like Ramirez with an opportunity to carry the ball picks up a quick 3 out to the 43-yard line. And I'll tell you, he is going to be a tough runner here, and he's had a little bit of fun here, but I thought he was a junior. He is a senior this year, so he's playing in his finale, but he's another really good kid.
A lot of these kids are. We've known them for a long time. We've known them through basketball programs. We've known them through, officiating them in various sports at the middle school and so on and so forth. So a lot of good kids out there, and it's fun watching them compete at this level.
As the pass goes out to Facundo, very nicely put in a position where he can make a play. He bangs forward, and they're going to give him the first down.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is that a run or a pass?
Well, it's a pass.
Statistician is going to have to take a look at that one.
When he catches that, he looked like he was parallel with the throw. It didn't look like a backward throw, but it was very, very close. And what I can tell when that happens, the side of the field that he comes on, the line judge on this side of the field punches his arm back towards the central backfield if that is a lateral pass. That way, if that ball does not get caught, it's a live football. I did not see him do that, so therefore it had to have been a forward pass.
You always standing up for your officials.
Oh, yes. Gotta love those officials. Kazanowski with a quick pass on the outside and just unable to haul that one in. Carson White might have been trying to take off downfield before he had his fingies on that.
Had some room, too, had he made the catch. But, again, it's always about the pass has got to be there, the catch, before you can do anything else.
Well, and it's a timing thing, too, and everything looked like it was in sync that time. And I think Carson realized he had a little real estate, but you got to watch that thing all the way through, and he might have been doing a little peekaboo looking downfield to see where the defenders were.
Now we are under 4.5 left here in the third quarter. Again, running clock due to the scoring differential. Ramirez goes back next to Kaznowski.
Might give him a little bit of room. And they're going to try and run a little screen, and that thing is absolutely shut down and snuffed out by number 42 on the play, John Irvin.
Yeah, he was watching that one develop initially, and then Kaznowski kept the play alive. I give him a lot of credit for keeping it alive, but Irvin was just thinking the same thing, going, well, if this guy's still running his route, I may as well stay with him, and as soon as he catches it, I may as well hit him.
Well, Kaznowski was running to daylight. You know, he did a really nice job of getting away from the rush, but he saw a couple of brothers coming after him that looked like they wanted to get him. The Scenics. 3rd down and 10 yards to go for Central. Kaznowski, 3-step drop, rolling to the near side of the field. Another ball picked off. Rolling the other way.
Bacigalupo.
It's Bacigalupo. 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 into the end zone. It's another Western Warrior touchdown. Bacigalupo said it fell right into my lap, and he just had to ramble downfield, looking around, making sure nobody was there. It was cruise control into the end zone.
Picking up one block. He just needed Kaznowski out of his way. If it wasn't for that little last guy right there, he may have just ran himself all the way home.
He was going we all the way home.
He was running at an angle. He was trying to pick up more yards.
He was looking for contact that wasn't there. So the attempt at the 2-point conversion, 56-13, with still 3:17 left in our third quarter. And now they're going to move this back to the middle for the attempted conversion.
A little field goal attempt, extra point attempt, I mean.
Well, they're going to do something that I have not seen them try all year long.
Well, no better time than let Owen Folsom do it.
Owen Folsom. Good exchange. The kick is up, and whoa! He's got himself a leg. The extra point is good. Time out of the field with 3:17 left in the third. 57-13. Western having their way with Central. Back in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating. And we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here as we look at Coach Willards. He is just prancing up and down the sidelines right now. He says, man, I'm pushing all the right buttons tonight in this ball game. But you got to give a ton of credit to the kids who have executed to perfection.
Yeah, the one thing I like about it, is you got to coach the entire game. You can't stop coaching, and your kids can't stop playing regardless. Again, you're not looking at the scoreboard. Being a coach and understanding both sides of the spectrum, when you're up a lot or when you're down a lot, you've got to keep playing. You can't not coach. You've got to do your thing, and you got to make sure that you keep that passion. And I don't think Coach Willards ever has to be talked to about keeping that passion, keeping that fire burning, and what he feels for this program.
Can that passion ever be misinterpreted, though, as trying to run it up?
It can be. Usually if you're on the side that is...
Got a penalty. We're going to have offside. They're going to redo it. But and I'm not trying to insinuate anything at all, Jason. You know me better than that.
Correct.
But, the casual fan from Bay City Central is going to say, he's trying to roll up the score. I believe now where he's up in the ball game, he's going to have a good opportunity to freely substitute, because I just talked with some people at Bay City Central today, and at some point you want to get as many of your starters out of this game to make certain that they're healthy for next week in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, you got that, but you look at the score. The two possessions that they scored on, you've got a short field, and then you score an interception return. You can't tell the guy to take a knee, or you can't tell him to take it down. I mean, that's almost more unsportsmanlike than it is to run it back. Plus, you're going to tell that kid who's been working his whole life to take a knee, he just can't. So, yeah, you might see some more substitutes coming in and things of that sort. But overall, the thing is they're going to keep playing. They have to keep playing. They've got to maintain this momentum because they got a playoff game next week. And as it stands now, they're going to be heading to Midland. So, they've got to be ready for a Midland-Dow rematch, and they got to make sure that they're firing on all cylinders. And we're still in the third quarter.
Yes, we still have time left in this third quarter, so there's still a lot of football to be played, but Western has made quite a statement after not winning in 8 years here in this rivalry to make a pretty healthy statement thus far.
I believe I was told that it was during the Obama administration was the last time the fireman's trumpet found itself out in Auburn. So if that is true, then it will be going back there in the first year of the Biden era.
Trying to run that ball forward, and one of the two brother combinations put a quick slam on that door.
Yeah, I think the cynics right there, big 63. Which one is 63? Trey and Trevor, the Cynic brothers. I think, that's if you're running up trying to get it through Whitaker, that's a problem. You're trying to run it through the Cynic brothers, that's a problem. They found more of their success in the air against this defensive backfield for Western than they are finding any ground against that front four.
Second down. Still about 10 yards to go for Central. Kazanowski, 5-step drop. Coming to the near side of the field, gets a nice pass off, but again, rolling to the football, and we're going to have a penalty flag. I don't know if they're going to have face mask or if they're going to get a horse collar.
I thought maybe the way his head turned around, it was a face mask, but
the way he's readjusting his helmet, I think they got face mask too.
They might not have that, but I think that's what happened.
Personal foul, face mask against the defense.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And I really like the fact that they mic up the referee here. It's really an educational thing for the fans to be able to see, hear, and understand, because a lot of your casual fans don't understand the signals and what's going on, but when you have it verbalized, makes it a whole lot easier to comprehend.
Absolutely, and he's able to explain it. I know the one time he gave the chop block or the defensive block below the waist, and a lot of things that maybe the casual fan doesn't see a lot on Saturday or Sunday that you'll see in a high school game.
So again, popping that thing to the near side of the field, down to about the 36-yard line. It'll be enough to move the sticks again with $1:10 left in the ball game. I would say probably we're only in a situation where we might get one more playoff here before the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, Herbert there and Randall on the tackle. Again, Facundo, the recipient of another nice quick pass by Kazanowski. I think, again, that's what he does really well is he gets that ball out quick.
Well, and he throws a pretty ball, too, and he has time to actually step into his throw and let it fly. And he makes the sticks move again. 1st and 10, Bay City Central. Here comes the pressure as he had absolutely nowhere to go that time. And it looks like Reynolds is there along with number 43 on the play, Cole Schmidt.
Yeah, we haven't called Cole Schmidt's name a lot, but I can tell you 43 has been very, very active in that linebacker spot. He's got to get that jersey a little darker. I think he's got to hit the ground a little bit more.
Brandon Buck, I thought, was going off the field. He went and got some signals, and he comes back on the field. As Western is rotating some of their defensive linemen, but not looking here at the end of our third quarter of play, and we'll check it out when we come back at the end of 3. It's 57-13, Western over Central. Back for the final 12 in just a moment on Bay County TV.
Another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Back here, ready to roll for the 4th and final quarter of this football game. Central down to the 41-yard line of the Western Warriors, trying to dent that end zone a time or two more in this ball game. Coming to the near side of the field with time to throw the football. Another pretty ball to McCullough. McCullough rolls forward and picks up about 5, 6, 7 yards on the play as he gets down to the 32-yard line. It was 2nd down and 16 after that sack on 1st down. So a nice opportunity for Central here as they've got another nice drive going.
Yeah, right there, Zyquan Bell has his helmet taken off during the play, so he's got to come off to the sideline to sit the mandatory at least one play off. So they get their sub in and bring up a nice 3rd down and 8 opportunity for the Wolves here at the 32-yard line.
Still 3rd and 8, though. Like to see at least 4 or 5 yards here to make it a manageable 4th down. We'll find out what Coach Frederick's got up his sleeve. So that looks like Ramirez, and he tried to cut off left tackle, and that door was absolutely slammed by Granston. And tackle made on the inside by, amongst others, number 43, Schmidt.
Yeah, I thought that had a chance right there for a big play. But I tell you again, the Western defense, they really rallied to the ball. Doesn't matter which guys they have out there, whether they're getting their first couple of snaps of the game or they're getting, they're still in there from the early part of the game. They are definitely still going right to the ball.
Their defensive responsibility to control the edge has been superb tonight, forcing Central to go back inside where the backside flow has really gotten to the football in a hurry. Kazanowski back again. He's going to throw a deep ball, trying to get that to McCullough, and beautifully played defensively by Forrester.
No, I thought that was, he had the inside leverage, just couldn't get enough on it. LJ is an extremely athletic kid. He was kind of hoping maybe to get him in a jump ball situation, and I would put my money on LJ a lot of times in a jump ball situation, but unfortunately the Forrester defensive back for the Warriors there, Forrester, just had better inside position, was able to knock it away.
Well, we're going to see Western starting at their own 32-yard line, and a lot of clean jerseys out there, so Western starting to substitute some people, and Coach Willards wants to have a timeout, and people go, why are you doing that? Well, when you put all fresh bodies on the floor, you want to make sure they're all on the right and same page, so we'll stay right here during this timeout.
I tell you, no, there's nothing wrong with that timeout. The big thing is you're still prepping, so, getting ready for a playoff game, you've got to continue to go in with that next man up mentality, so you never know in this game, specifically in this game, when an injury can really alter how you start having to adjust your depth charts and give these guys an opportunity to get some live action. So you still want to make sure, and we talked about that in the 3rd quarter, you don't stop coaching and your kids don't stop playing regardless of what the score is.
Well, and I really like the fact that this many kids can get meaningful snaps, and that is the exact reason that you just talked about. You don't know when they're going to be needing to play, and if you don't have those valuable snaps, you really sometimes don't have the edge you need when you come out of the field.
Very accurate statement, and I think this is going to be a good opportunity for a lot of these guys that get an opportunity.
Handoff up the middle for a gain of about 10 yards. And we've got some bodies flying at the end of the play. And again, our umpire goes down once again. That poor guy has just really had a tough go at things. And they are going to, I believe, move the sticks again for a 1st down. And now I believe they moved the sticks maybe a little early before they got the signal.
They were moving them. Reynolds on that carry. The Forrester now running the quarterback spot for the Warriors. Yeah, you play till you hear the whistle. That was a good play.
So another 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors from their own 44. Good job by the Central defense coming up from the outside. That was number 22 with a great tackle. Ben Sporman really pinched the edge and got good penetration to knock down that ball carrier after a modest gain.
It's a modest gain, but he still got 4 yards. Still got, what did they give him? 3, 4, 4 yards.
Give him 3, yep.
Your whole thing is, that's pretty impressive.
Jeff Beisel loved 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Absolutely.
He said, we'll keep moving the sticks.
He wasn't even a mathematician.
On the 2nd down run, again, another run forward for about 8 yards. And almost another late flag. The referee's doing a little chirping as it looked like Bay City Central's Carlos Harris had a little conversation with the quarterback.
Tell you, Aiden Robinson now in the backfield for the Warriors, a sophomore. I tell you what, he's got some jets. I've watched that kid grow up through the baseball field, watch him work out in the gymnasiums, and that kid puts in the time. And I tell you what, he's got a motor on him. He's going to be fun to watch for the next couple of years for the Western.
Banging forward down to about the 35-yard line for a 9-yard gain on the play. So, boy, you're even seeing the second group offensively still being able to move the ball. Central looks like they've had an opportunity to get some other folks into the game as well, but this Western team is a machine this week.
Yeah, I tell you, there's not much that is able to stop them. You know, the running clock is the only thing that may stop them here tonight. The Forrester in at quarterback, Robinson, the sophomore, at the slot back position. And I tell you, Forrester's got good speed. He just made a great play on the defensive side of it. Now let's see what he can do on the run.
As again, he bangs his head down and just picks up about 5 down to the 30-yard line. And it's going to be enough to move the sticks again. Another 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors. Running clock here with 6:50 and counting left in the ball game.
We got number 16 coming onto the field here or 18. That's Easton Anderson coming on the field as A.J. Kaznowski comes off on the defensive side for the Wolves.
As they go 1st and 10 again. Did not hear what the numbers on the 50-50 were, but they're going to have multiple winners, which means they got a boatload of cash tonight, which you got to love to have multiple people get a win. Modest gain on the play of about a yard, 2nd down and 9 as we approach 6 minutes left in the ball game.
I noticed that we didn't pull any tickets out up here. I realized that you got to go to St. Charles afterwards, so our winnings would have been on our way to St. Chuck's.
Would have been going in the gas tank. But, you know, you love to see it. The Booster Club was really looking forward to this big crowd tonight, and the concession stand was rocking. They've got good brats, and again, another great job by Central as they shut down the ball carrier, Aiden Robinson. And tacklers on the play for Bay City Central. Looks like Sean Cox was the initial hit defensively.
Hey, you know, you got 0 and 6 and 4s and 2. They all look alike, them single digits.
Yep, we're in, especially as they get to the other end of the field. We're down here on the other 40-yard line, so starting to be in a tough area. And again, those numbers in 2024 are going to be way more user-friendly for us, Jason.
All I can say is, as you always say, you know, or as Michael Vincent has coined, brought down by a pack of wolves. We'll just stick with that. We can't screw that one up.
That is subject to the test of time, as he is one of the best in the business. Trying to roll to the outside, and how about that? Shooting forward. Was that Sporman?
Yes, sir.
Number 22, Ben Sporman.
Yep. Ben does a nice job. So now on 4th down and 10. Yep, might as well take a shot and go for it because the clock is just going to roll, and the clock doesn't stop on the change of possession. So, you know, this play typically could take 60 seconds off the clock between the running of this play and the changing of the guard. And if they don't get it, Central coming back out of the offense. As another nice play by the Central defenders, shut Reynolds down, and that will be at the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, as amongst the tacklers for Bay City Central is Martino Sampson. So 1st and 10 now, just under 4 minutes left in the ball game. As look at the Western student section. They've got the lights going. Is that all phone stuff? Boy, I hope that their batteries aren't going to run low on their phones.
Tell you what, that's why we're not getting any service over here.
Yep, they're soaking it up over there, but they're just enjoying. That student section is loaded over there, and you love the support that they have given this Western team, which looks like they're going 7-2 on the year.
I think the best thing that Central can look forward to is going to be the basketball season. They're going to get another opportunity to re-etch their name in this crosstown rival and do what they do best. I think they're both basketball teams this season on the men's and on the boys and the girls side is going to be some very good basketball. I'm looking forward to basketball season as always. Not only is this the last quarter of tonight's ball game, but this is also the last quarter of our football season for the 2021 year.
Yep, we are going to be getting together very soon to put together a package for the basketball season, and that will be something very, very special, as we will try and get in the neighborhood of about 15 games out in the winter, maybe a little bit more depending on what the schedule permits and what our schedules permit. As ball carried by Bay City Central's number 7, L.J. McCullough. We thought that we'd see Harris just a little bit tonight from the Wildcat, but McCullough takes that snap and he comes over and he's going to get an encore performance with another down. 2:15 and counting left in our ball game. 57-13. Western offensively just putting on a clinic tonight, as we have seen this team in all but one game scoring 40 points a game. It's just amazing the way that they've been able to make it happen. McCullough trying to turn around the corner. He's got the first down and more as he gets knocked out at midfield. There may have been a little bit of holding on the edge, but I'd say it's a time scoring situation. It didn't look like a safety issue. And the big gain out to the 50 as McCullough found another gear coming around the corner.
He does have another gear, and I know that was one of the reasons they tried to get him the ball in space. What he can do when he gets a litit bit of room is amazing. It doesn't take a lot. You know, we sit there, we marvel over how Wiedike and how O'Hara are able to take the corners and take the little gaps and then turn it into something. You know, LJ has that special seed. Harris has that special seed that they just can plant and go.
Miles Russett is going to get an opportunity as he bangs forward for a modest gain on the play of a little bit.
Sean Cox, number 9.
So Russett just got into the game. Now he comes back out. So Cox with a carry and
under a minute left here.
Enough to move the sticks. It'll be where the ball's at. I don't know what's going on with the chain gang over there.
I just told them, hey,
it's second down. There we go. That looks better. Second down and 8.
Got fourth down on the board, second down on the marker.
McCullough tried to cut back across the green, just about got the daylight, and that might be the last play of the game.
John Winden with a nice tackle for the Warriors. Nice wrap up, you know, especially when you got someone like when you got McCullough back there that's shifty and can move and can Barry Sanders like.
As they are going to try and get one last playoff with 15 ticks left, they probably can get to the line and make it happen. As they come quickly, the Western fans look like they're ready to come off onto the field, so we'll find out if that happens. McCullough trying to get around the corner right now, and he's going to run out of daylight. 2 seconds, 1 and 0. That's all there is.
There is no more.
The final score in our ball game: the Western Warriors 57, Central Wolves 13. We'll be back to put the wraps on this one in just a moment on Bay County TV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back with the Collier Chiropractic post-game wrap-up here on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, and we saw an offense tonight that 8 of the 9 weeks this year was able to put 40-plus points on the board and was extremely proficient.
They were proficient, they were efficient, they were able to execute, and I think that Coach Willich really wanted to make sure that they were able to execute the game plan and again get that momentum, start working back at what they have gotten to this point with. Take last week's loss out of the equation, take out the rain, take out the 5 turnovers, but get back to what it is that they are going to need to reestablish for next week and what we expect to be a road playoff game.
Well, Western in the last two series of the first half really looked like they developed a rhythm and had an opportunity to come back. Then some adjustments by Western and a couple of huge turnovers in the third quarter really turned this ball game into a wide score.
Even though the score was what it was, they still had to avoid the turnover bug and having the interception with the choke pad where he just kind of floated out into the flat, and then you had the Bastalupo interception return. Mixed in there, you had a turnover on down, so you had quite a few different things happening there that it really was the deflating aspect of the game, and you kind of see the wind come out of the sail because they put everything and all their effort into it to get themselves back in a situation where they had a little momentum into that third quarter, getting the kickoff and trying to make something happen. They even started off with some positive activity, but at the end of the day, Western's defense got challenged at halftime. They made some plays in the second half. They stepped up, and they benefited from it. And it's something that they can build on, because if you're looking at something that is not as strong as your offensive defense, their defensive secondary, the defensive backfield, they got burned a couple times in that first half. They needed to do something in the second half. They adjusted, and they made some great plays.
I think a great show of love and sportsmanship were what the Western players gathered around Sporman afterwards. And I know they wanted him to play because he's a great competitor. He wanted to play, but the respect that they showed for him after the game was very heartwarming.
Yeah, you sit here all the time and we talk about rivalries, and we talk about, the dislike for each other, the east side, the west side, the Auburn, the Bay City, all the different things, but at the end of the day, they're kids. And, to be able to have that human side of them and being able to see somebody that's hurting that they know that probably would have played, had his parents not been here tonight, or the doctor's not been in the crowd. So, he's just that type of competitor. But again, these kids have been with youth football, with youth baseball, with basketball recreation programs. So they've known each other throughout the last 15 years since they really started playing competitive sports. So it was a kind gesture, and it was the thing that I liked about it is it seemed like the players did it on their own. It didn't seem like the coaches were saying, "Hey, go over there and talk to him." So great job to the Western parents. You raised some really good kids, and of course, great job to Kyle and his family, because they raised a heck of a kid themselves.
Well, that about puts the wraps on our regular season. We're still potentially going to look at Selection Sunday, see what next week brings and what opportunities may be there, but I very much appreciate your ability in mid-stride in the season to say, yeah, I'd love to hop on board with this, and you've done a masterful job, Jason.
I tell you what, Gwiz laid the tracks, and I'm just glad I'm on the ride, and I've been able to continue on the excellence that he has laid out for me to continue on. So appreciate the time with you, Jeff, and always working well with Nick and Jared and the rest of the crew that's part of the Bay County TV.
Well, that about puts the wraps on our broadcast. On behalf of the whole crew, I'm Jeff Doan, along with Jason Newsham, producer, director, and cameraman tonight, Nick Page. Have a great night. We'll look forward to talking with you soon.